Hello everybody, it's Larry and welcome to today's video. Now I had a different video planned for you today, but instead we've preempted it and brought you this one because I like to bring you things that are brand new that people don't know about. And Ancestry has come out with something just brand new today, and that is called Ancestry Health. Chances are you haven't heard about it or haven't seen it yet, and neither have your friends, so you want to pass this around to them, and I'm sure they'll be appreciative that you do. So let's look at the Ancestry Health and how you can get to it. Now, it's on the main page, and you can see right here at the top where it says Explore Ancestry Health, and you can click on their little advertisement at the top, probably forever and ever because it kind of stays up there even if you get it. And then right here on the DNA, if you click on the DNA page, you can get to it from there, and it's got its own menu item now called Health. Now I'm gonna go to the DNA because we're all used to going to the DNA page, and that's just where doing genealogy, that's where we see stuff, and that's why we come here, is for genealogy. So this is a new offering that they have. Now the traits you're normally used to seeing at the top, they put it down at the bottom, and then the questions here that you answer to help make those traits more accurate. But right here at the top, they've pushed this pretty large banner onto you that says Explore Ancestry Health. So when you click on this or come up here to the health bar, we'll click on this. Either way, it goes to the same place. The first time you click on this, it's going to bring up and make you set up a new page for two-factor authentication. What that means is you will enter your phone number, and it will then send a text to your phone giving you a 6-digit code. You have to enter that 6-digit code in order to progress onto the page that you see here. Since I've already entered that code and I actually clicked the box that said remember this device, then I come to this page and you don't see my two-factor authentication because I've been authenticated. All right, so let's look at the Ancestry Health. The first thing is, there's 4 big parts to it. You're going to get personalized health reports with actionable insights. Basically, actionable means, hey, you may need to see a doctor about this, or, maybe you want to eat this, foods, those foods. Includes access to genetic counseling resources, and that's really not specific, but I'm sure there's some links and maybe some videos and some stuff. This one I am really curious about, the Family Health History Tool to track generations of health. And the reason this is important to me and important to you too, I'll give you an example. Those of you know my story, DNA surprise, and I label them when I talk in videos, family 1, family 2, family 3. Well, my family 2, the Basie family, the one I thought I was for 30 years, my grandfather died at 48 of a heart attack while he was driving a car and drove into a pole. And that concerned me, especially driving family around. And my, family 2 dad, he contracted cancer, a pretty rare, aggressive form of cancer, when he was 51, and died when he was 57. So that, was a concern to me. And I always thought, hey, if I can, make it to 55 without having any serious health issues, I'll probably live to 90, because everybody else in my family tree beyond those 2 lived to be 90. And I could actually see through my genealogy that the males all in that family all lived to be 90 years old up until this one point. And then when I took the branch where that intersection was, in the maternal side, it actually passed along a genetic condition where they all died young in their 40s and 50s. So I could actually see that. And now we have a family health tool to track generations of health. But instead of, it just being, hey, what age did they die and of what? Now we actually get to get some DNA and some genetic insights on that. And for those of you who have had multiple generations take a DNA test, it's really interesting on what you may be able to glean from generation to generation to generation. So in my family too, for instance, the grandfather died of a heart attack, the dad died of cancer. Did I am I at risk for these? You could genetically see, do I have those same genetics? And do I have those same markers that say I need to watch out for these things? Or it may be that through my other side of the family, I got the markers from that side, and I may live to be, 100 years old. So with that, you can kind of see that and track it through the generations. So I think this becomes more valuable as time goes on. I think the more generations you have, and you can kind of see how it goes, that comes with a caveat. Everybody's tracking your history, and at some point, insurance companies will know, okay, your family line is more at risk for these things than other family lines. And so we're really getting into those, ethical boundaries on some of that information. And so you want to keep that information secure. So I'm going to go back, and as we go to this next one, it says new sample is not required for most DNA customers. And the little asterisk there is if they can't do it from the information that you've already provided, the DNA you've already provided, then they'll send you another kit. You can spit in the tube and get this information. Well, let's look at this a different way. Your DNA is kept on file for a minimum of 25 years, and with that, these new tests can be run on that, and that information's already out there. And so is this a new thing that they can get a hold of, or is it information that's already there? It's information that's already there. So how secure is this information? Ancestry takes pretty good effort in their terms and conditions to let us know that they are not required to keep our DNA and our DNA information at HIPAA standards. Now, if you don't know, the Privacy Act says that your information can't be shared to or with anybody unless with your permission, and it has to be kept in certain secure environments. This doesn't mean Ancestry's not keeping it in that secure environment. It doesn't mean that they're not keeping it secure, but they do make a point in their legalese to say they're not required to keep it to that level. Now, they are keeping it to a level that I think is actually better than some of the healthcare providers. I actually use a healthcare provider. It has a portal, and I got a username and a login, and I log in, and it's got an SSL layer like this, and that's considered secure. This adds two-factor authentication with my phone, so this is actually more secure than what I'm getting from my true medical providers. So this is actually good. So just because they're not required to do that doesn't mean that they're not doing that, but that's something you do need to bear in mind if you go and decide to opt for the Ancestry Health. So they have two versions of the Ancestry Health. They have the Health Core and the Health Plus. And we'll just click on the compare the two experiences, drag it down for you here. All right, so you get health reports with both, wellness reports, family history tool, genetic counseling, interactive webinars, and educational videos only for customers with an increased risk of certain conditions. Only people with certain conditions that are at an increased risk. So what this really means, translated, is if you are flagged as saying you have these risk conditions, some there aren't any videos or counseling for, but there are some that say, hey, you probably need to go seek treatment, or here's what you need to do. So there is some stuff and educational videos on certain things. Not all things, but certain things. Printable reports you can take to your healthcare provider, and standard, DNA technology, advanced technology, of course, you're paying for the advanced. Additional wellness reports. So basically what this says is you're going to do an additional few tests and get additional health information if you do the upgraded one. And if you do the upgraded one, you get new reports throughout the year because, looky here, includes the first 6 months of membership. This is going to end up being subscription based, kind of like your Ancestry, if you want to continue to get the health information. Now, I know this is partly to help us, partly for a revenue stream. I mean, they have to pay for it if they're going to offer it to us, right? We shouldn't expect everything free in life. So they have to recoup the cost. And if they're going to be updating the chips and giving us better and better information, then they're going to have to recoup that cost, and they're not going to be able to, for $98, buy $1 million machine to analyze my DNA for these different health things, and they're not going to be able to improve the code and pay people to analyze more and more details for free either. So they've estimated how many people they think that'll do it, and for $98 we get 6 months of these new reports, and then after that maybe it falls back, but you'll still get the full information, at least initially. Now there are some things to bring out. It's not available to people in New York, New Jersey, or Rhode Island, or people out of the US. Okay, so it says these tests are not cleared or approved by the US Food and Drug Administration, and so it says before making any actions based on the health reports, including dietary treatment and lifestyle changes, you probably want to seek a physician's information. So they're careful to say this isn't medical advice, even though, it's your health. So those are things you want to bear in mind. Overall, I'm looking at the pros and cons. I will probably do this and do this pretty soon, if for no other reason, so that I can show you kind of what you get and help you make a decision on whether or not you see it. And you can actually see some of the forms that on here. We won't delve into all those just at this time. But there you have it. You can go to the DNA and get from there, go right straight to the health page option. And then once you do it, you'll just say, you go to the learn more. It says you want to buy it. And Ancestry helped us, first, 6 months. And then health core. And so from ethnic origins to the personalized health insights, you can get them for health core. So basically this is your DNA test. You'll get your regular DNA for $99 plus the $49 for there. It's actually $1 cheaper or $2 cheaper if you buy it separate. So Ancestry, come on. I mean, if you're going to bundle it, give me at least a $5 break. Because if I can get the full thing for $99 and the other one for $49, then that's $148. And here it's $149. So it's actually $1 more if I bundle it together. So anyway, give me a discount if I'm buying more product. Instead of going from $148 to $149, take it down to $145. Give me some incentive to bundle the thing. Anyway, so this tells you a little more about here's the guidance and resources. Little app here tells you the information. Tells you a little bit about the technology, and I actually did research the technology. It's actually pretty good, leading edge, and then the ongoing updates. So you can look at this kind of yourself, but you're really going to want to. And this talks about hey, here's your core array. You get the picture shows 5, and then here it shows those same 5 with all these extra ones, of course, to entice you to do more. And then the genealogy tracking, so that's good. And how Ancestry Health added to your results? Well, purchase the Ancestry Health and get the short answer questionnaire. And now this is kind of interesting. The Ancestry Health and answer a short questionnaire upon activation to determine eligibility. Now, I assume that this is going to be, do you live in New York or New Jersey, Rhode Island, or outside the United States, that kind of thing. So there's certain protections that are required outside the United States and in those states. And like I said before, Ancestry says, hey, we're not required to do stuff to HIPAA. So they just don't offer them in those. So if you live outside the U.S. And then if you're in the U.S., New York, New Jersey, or Rhode Island, you can't use this. Okay? But it says here, if you purchase it and you live in any of those, they'll end up refunding it. You have to be 18 or older, and you have to have never received a bone marrow or stem cell transplant. So there are some limitations on who can participate in this. Well, there you have it. Brand new, hot off the presses. Like I said, chances are you haven't seen it, or maybe you've seen it and you've clicked around a little bit and you want to know a little bit more about it. So pass it around to your friends. They probably haven't seen it either. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you appreciate finding out things when they first come out, give it a thumbs up, because that's what we're doing for you here. Like I said, we preempted the other video that we had planned to go out for today. And I just want to say thank you to you all for listening to the channel. 4900, probably at the time of the next video, will be our 5,000 video mark. And we'll go ahead and do our regular video, but we'll have an extra video once we pass, sometime after we pass the 5,000 mark. And we'll have a giveaway and stuff on that. We're looking forward to some things and some announcements on that. So look forward to the 500. If nothing else, pass around to your friends so that we can get to the 5,000 and get to the giveaways faster, right? Anyway, I appreciate you all listening. And as always, I thank you, and you guys have a great weekend.